Hello, my name is Gabe Wilson, and I worked with Alan Humphreys and Rise Price. We're members of a group called Work in Progress and are each enrolled in Mechanics and Materials this year and decided to try to make our lives a little easier with the final project. What we've developed is a calculator capable of solving any of the problems that a student might face in Unit 3 of Mechanics and Materials. The operating instructions and outcomes are as follows. First, you choose from one of these three buttons. Um, if you select buckling, there will be a drop-down menu that will allow you to choose the kind of I-beam and give you your desired inputs. And then once you've done that, you select that and it will tell you your critical load in newtons. The second function is more circle. You'll be given several widgets that will help you input things into your function. Um, And as you do that, you will add your values. And then let's say we say this is 20, and then you can then plot your Moore's circle. And it will give you your points for your minimum shear, your maximum shear, your shear one and your shear two. Um, and those are all labeled so that you can then take those things and put them into your homework. Our final one is Hooke's Law, which you'll be presented with a couple of sliders. As you'll notice, this slider goes up to a very high number because most homeworks will be somewhere in the range of 3.0 times 10 to the sixth, which is 3.0 e to the sixth in this. And then you'll have some PSI number, and you'll be given your stress in pascals, which you will have to convert to gigapascals. We did not do that for you, but most of our homeworks, you'll just take that number and reduce it down so that it's in its simplest scientific notation, and that will be your pascals. Um, Thank you for taking time to look at those. Now we'll go through the actual coding of this project very briefly. We have our imports and our authorization for Google. And then we have linked here our I-beam info sheet. This is where we get the designation for our I-beams and our inertia values that we use later on in our code to be able to then calculate the buckling. These are defining the math functions for Hooke's law and transform stresses, principal stresses, max shear stress. This is how we get the I-beam designation for the problem with the buckling. This is connecting to that Google Sheet and then printing our designations into something that the user can then see. These are our inputs that we're going to be using for our Hooke's law, so our GUIs that we use and our button click that then calculates things for us. This is our plotting of Moore's circle. So this function takes your sigma x, sigma y, and tau xy, and then turns that into an appropriately plotted circle with the defined points both labeled and shown clearly. And then these are getting the inputs using GUIs from the user. This is our function for buckling. So we have our defined function, and then we use the inputs here. So we have a float text, and float text for this one, and then we add our I-beam drop down, and then we display it. So throughout all of these, there's plenty of if statements. There's a couple. So this statement here was completely built by AI. We were trying to get a sound to work, but it doesn't seem to work unless we add this waiting animation. But even then, it's a little finicky, so we're still trying to figure that out. But we did add that. We added a waiting animation so that it gives the time for the computer to think and load everything that it needs to. And then as we go throughout, you'll notice that if we do something, you'll see that loading animation. If we do something and we want to then restart, we can then clear and start again, which we had to import and learn how to do for this for this project. Quickly, I'll show you the Gantt chart. We used this at the beginning of the program to be able to itemize the things that we're going to be doing together. As you can see, I ended up doing most of the coding, and Alan helped with that final section of the calling all of the functions, that block of code where we have all of the nice looking buttons and things. That was Alan. But all of the defining of functions and calling of functions and things like that, that was me. Um, the Gantt chart, Rise did a great job on this. And then variable names, we kind of talked a little bit about what we wanted our variable names to be together. And then I kind of just did those in the code. I linked the databases, created the code functions, and then the GUIs, I actually ended up doing those as well. But Rise did create a good script for me to follow for creating this video as well. So we tried to split it as evenly as we could. It ended up being a lot more time coding than we initially thought it would be, but it was a great project and we're really excited about the outcome of it. And thank you.